I've sat through a lot of AI agent demos lately. They all look really impressive, but there's one question almost nobody can answer when the demo ends. What is an AI agent? What's actually inside one? What are the bits? How do they fit together? Today, we're going to draw one live on my iPad whilst I talk you through it. By the end, you'll have a diagram you can screenshot, one that maps out how every Amazon Connect AI agent actually works underneath, including the one you're going to build, the one that changes how your whole organization runs. Let's get started. All right, let's start over here on the left. This is going to be our caller. Now, it could be a voice call, could be a chat, doesn't really matter for what we're doing today. And so this is where the conversation starts and it happens. It comes into Amazon Connect and it comes into a channel. Now, if you've worked with Connect, you'll know about flows. Every interaction gets routed through a flow. Somewhere inside that flow is a block and it hands the conversation off to our AI agent. I'm not going to draw the flow today, but I'll just sort of say the flow is like the host. The agent is like the guest. The flow invites the agent in, the agent does its thing, and the control then returns to the flow when it's done. If flows are a new concept to you, there's a whole different video for another day. For everything else though, we're going to focus in on what's happening inside the agent. So I'll just put channel here, and that sort of encompasses the flow. And so the conversation then passes from the channel to the agent. And so this is going to be the agent. And I'm drawing this one bigger on purpose because everything else that we're going to draw today is just something that the agent uses. When the customer speaks, the agent decides what comes next. It might be a simple answer, it might be reaching out to another system to actually do something on the customer's behalf. If you've worked with large language models before, this is where the LLM lives. Reasoning over what was just said, choosing what happens next. It's like the brain. It's the brain of the operations. So now we can start adding what actually makes it useful. The agent is going to need some instructions. So up here, we'll draw prompts. So this is the prompt. It's the agent's identity. This is the bit that says you're a delivery assistant, you're polite, you're efficient, here's how to handle things when someone's annoyed. Prompts shape behavior. They set the tone, they tell the agent where the boundaries are. Now, here's a trap that I see most teams fall into. They put their entire knowledge base into the prompt. Every business rule, every product detail, the prompt grows and grows and grows into this big wall of text. Nobody can work it out, nobody can debug it, and the agent gets confused as well. The behavior of the agent just gets worse, not better. Prompts are about who the agent is. Knowledge is a separate question, and we'll sort that out next. So this is where knowledge lives in the knowledge base. Your delivery rules, your refund policies, the procedural stuff, the stuff the agent needs to look up to give a sensible answer. So when a customer asks something, the agent searches the knowledge base, finds the relevant bits, and uses them to construct its reply. If you've heard the term RAG thrown around, this is where this shows up. The agent looks things up rather than making them up. So that's also what enables the prompt to stay focused on identity. So policy information belongs in the knowledge base where it can be searched and updated without you needing to rewrite the whole agent each time. So that's what the agent knows. What about what it remembers? So right next to the knowledge base, we've got session attributes. And session attributes are it's like a memory store. It's what the agent specifically remembers. So if the knowledge base is what the agent knows in general, then session attributes are like what it remembers about this specific conversation. And this is information you can give it as the conversation goes along. So who the caller is, what order number they gave you a few minutes ago, anything that needs to persist in between turns gets stored in here. We're going to come back to session attributes in a whole future video, but for now, the agent remembers things between turns, and session attributes are what enables it to do that. Okay, so now we get to the bit that makes this an agent rather than just a chatbot. And so that's all the way over here and in the tools box. So let's put an arrow there as well. These are tools. So this is what the agent can actually do. Now without these tools, it's really just an articulate FAQ. So in our delivery example, when the customer says, I want to reschedule something, the agent calls a rescheduling tool. So that tool can reach into the delivery system, it can book a new slot, it can bring the results back. And here's the bit I really like. Connect implements this using MCP, Model Context Protocol. So that's the same standard you see all across the AI world right now. So if you've been working with Claude or any other LLM tools, you already know exactly what this is. So build a tool once, plug it into any compatible agents. So that kind of portability is really, really helpful, and you get it with a good standard like MCP. And once the agent can actually do things, well, there's real power in that, which means that you do need to think carefully about what you don't want it to do. And so because of that, finally wrapping everything together, I'm going to attempt to draw like a wiggly line around everything, are your guardrails. Okay, and the guardrails are, it's like a cross-cutting layer. They sit around the whole thing. They don't slot in, they're not called in particular by one particular component. The guardrails decide what the agent can say and what it can do. And so that gives you that difference between an agent that really helps you and an agent that can really get you into trouble. There's a lot more to guardrails than I can cover today, but the short version is don't ship an agent without them. So that's the whole architecture. Let's see how it all works together in an example. Let's run a real call across this. A customer dials in to reschedule their delivery. The call lands in Amazon Connect. The flow does its routing, and within a couple of turns, the conversation is with the agent. So now the agent's working. And the first thing it does is it checks who it's supposed to be. So using the prompt says you're a delivery assistant, you're polite and efficient. The customer verifies their identity, gives the agent their order number. The agent stores it here in session variables so that it remembers it for the rest of the conversation. The customer asks, is Saturday delivery possible? The agent doesn't guess, it checks its knowledge base, okay, which knows that we can deliver Monday to Saturday, but not bank holidays. So now the customer wants to actually move the delivery. So the agent calls the redelivery tool. The tool uses the order ID stored earlier in session attributes, and from here it can reach out into APIs, legacy systems, whatever, using MCP, reaches into the delivery system, books a new slot, the result comes back to the agent, comes back in here, comes back through the same chain. The agent uses the prompt information to tell the customer when the new slot is, how to present it, what other information to provide. Some of that information may come from the knowledge base around on the delivery day what to expect and process and protocol and all the rest of it. And importantly, surrounding all of this, if at any point during that call the customer had done something like ask for a cake recipe or anything completely off topic, the guardrails are there to stop things getting weird. They're working in the background throughout the whole conversation, even when you don't see them fire. They're there to make sure nothing goes wrong. That's the whole architecture in action. Every component here doing its job, all in the space of a single conversation. That's the foundation of an Amazon Connect customer AI agent. If you want to take one thing away from this video, it's this diagram. Screenshot it, show it to anyone in your team who's about to start building or is building an AI agent for your contact center. Each of these components has way more to it than I've been able to cover today, but I'm going to be going deep on each of them over the coming weeks, starting with how all these pieces relate to each other in a written piece next. But the architecture itself, this thing right here, this is the map. Once you've got this in your head, everything else just slots in. I'll see you in the next one.